Good morning. Welcome into this Tuesday edition of SimWorld Today. I'm Marsh, joined in the booth as I am every Tuesday by B-Ron with a great show ahead. A little SWBA action, a new champion in SimWorld U, and of course we got a guest coming on to wrap up the show this morning. But let's start, B-Ron, with the SWBA. Game 1, Knicks Pacers, and Jalen Brunson becomes the first player in SWBA history to have a 40-point, 5-assist game 4 times in a row as he leads the Knicks to a 4-point game 1 win. He has been on a tear, and he has been deadly in the mid-range.
Yeah, he really has. And the thing about this too that made it, I guess, even better was the fact that the Knicks had to rally back. They were Brunson scored 21 points in that fourth quarter, uh, and they trailed by 9 earlier in the fourth quarter to get to that point too. So Jalen Brunson, man, he's impressive, and this is the time when you need guys like him to step up. And it was a great start for the Knicks to get the win on their home floor, by the way, which we'll get more into that, later on in a minute, I'm sure. But the home cooking is alive and well for them, MSG.
Yeah, they take care of business. They've lost, I think, only just one time now at home. That was the Game 5 loss, the Tyree Maxey game that needed overtime to take him down at Madison Square Garden. But Jalen Brunson has been a revelation, not only this season, but particularly in these playoffs. Ends up with 43 points, does it extra efficiently, 14 of 26 from the floor, 14 of 14 from the free throw line as he continues to get to the paint. And he was a team high plus 12 in his 44 minutes. He has just been a different breed. And you mentioned at home, this is it's on the bucket list for me personally of a place that you got to go to watch a high level basketball game, whether that's not a regular season game, but a impactful, monumental moment, because that place was jumping last
Yeah,
night on every
absolutely.
single Jalen Brunson pull up mid range, which at this point is Kobe Dirk esque, MJ esque in that every time he pulls up, I just assume he's making it. Andrew Nemhar was the topic of his destruction at times. Aaron Nesmith last night. Jalen Brunson has I mean, they're 3 wins from making the conference finals, and we haven't seen Boston in a little bit, and we're going to tonight when they play Cleveland. But if you're New York, you start to kind of think we got a shot here, up 1-0, and the way that Jalen Brunson is playing, you took the Pacers' best shot, and you walked out of there with a win.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't all Jalen Brunson either, which makes this win even better for them. Sure, he may have 43 points, and that's great, but Jordan Hart also played really well. 13 rebounds and 24 points from him, and D Vincenzo as well, 25 points, and he had some help. He had a lot of help around him last night, and that's what you need during the playoffs.
Josh Hart taking care of business.
Josh
He's
Hart,
been really
thank you.
good for them off the boards. On the opposite side, though, a really quiet night from Tyrese Halliburton, and he just kind of looked out of sorts all night. 6 points, takes just 6 shots, does have 8 steals, turns the ball over, or excuse me, 8 assists, turns the ball over 3 times. But he just if I'm the Pacers, that's the one positive I'm taking out of this is if it to counter my own points, it might not have been the best shot just because Tyrese Halliburton did not play well. He was minus 12 in 36 minutes. They got better production from their second unit all night long. That's what gave them that second quarter advantage in this one. There's still a pathway for the Pacers, but you need to have a better night from what Halliburton gave them because last night he just was not aggressive and particularly inefficient.
Yeah, definitely agree there.
Moving over to the other side of the conference bracket where the Minnesota Timberwolves are stunningly up 2-0 after taking both road games against the defending champion Denver Nuggets. Karl Anthony Towns 27, Anthony Edwards 27. They do this without Rudy Gobert, and this feels like a moment in time in which the tides of the SWBA shifts to Anthony Edwards because he has been nothing short of unstoppable, incredible. Pick your adjective to describe the play that he has been as of late because it's been a joy to watch.
It really, really has, and the fact that you know this team is playing, I want to say as well as they are, but as good as they are against a team that's been really good at home all season, 33-8 at home as the Nuggets been all season, and to play this well and to do what they did in the first two games of the series, this has got to be very, very concerning. If you're a Nuggets fan, if you're a Nuggets player at this point in time, you come into the series as the overwhelming favorite, really, to win and advance to the Western Conference Finals, and now you're down 2-0. You've lost both your home games. Now, that's not a good sign at all.
Not typically, no. Um, they've done a good job defensively, and this is, give credit to Minnesota. They've geared up a roster that they've built specifically to be able to attack this Denver Nuggets. Now, did they build it with the Denver Nuggets in mind? Maybe, maybe not. But the fact that you can throw, and I think we talked about it yesterday, is Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid. You can throw all of them at Nikola Jokic, and you're still able to have then two other guys on Michael Porter Jr., who normally has a size advantage with the guy he's going against, and Aaron Gordon. Uh, that is something that other teams just simply haven't been able to do. The Lakers couldn't do it. We saw all of last season, nobody in their pathway. I mean, the Miami Heat was maybe the most anticlimactic finals because we knew they were never going to be able to go toe to toe with their size. But that makes their life so much more difficult and puts the onus on Jamal Murray, who every time, every playoffs, we kind of have this conversation with Jamal Murray. He's not an all-star. How can he not be an all-star? Look at what he's doing. He got hurt, but he should be an all-star. He went 3 of 18 last night. In the Lakers series, he had some rough nights against the Lakers that he saved them with big late game buckets. But it continues to end up being that Jamal Murray, the onus is falling to him. And right now, he has not been able to go toe to toe and meet that call to be able to support a bad night from Nikola Jokic because last night was one of them.
Yeah, yeah, and this is not the time to have these kinds of games if you're Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. You mentioned it, 3 of 18 for Murray, 5 of 13 for Jokic. It's not the time for these kinds of games, guys. Especially if you now have to weather the storm and come back down 0-2 against a Timberwolves team that's looking really, really hot right now. So if you're if you weren't concerned before coming after losing game one, I feel like you should be now after losing game two and going down 2-0 to Minnesota. Personally,
Yeah, home court fully on the side of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's head to the SimWorld U National Championship game where Miami ends any hopes of a UConn repeat 117-83. Jermaine McLemore scores 43 points, the second most points in national championship game history, adds 17 rebounds. Dominic Bianco with 33. Donovan Clingan leaves the game 3 minutes in with an injury. That's really what shifted this game and allowed Jermaine McLemore to be as dominant as he was. But Miami, who never won a game by fewer than 10 points, continue their march. They are now national champions. Top of the SimWorld U world, B-Ron.
yep. Top of the SimWorld U world, and honestly, well deserved. Well deserved. When you have a prolific offense like Miami's had, I think you mentioned it before, Marsh. They had to kind of work their way up into the top 10 and earn that respect throughout the season. And now that they're here, they beat UConn. Denying them their chance at a repeat title here. This was an impressive performance, especially from, you mentioned Jermaine McLemore, 43 points, but we also can't forget about Dominic Bianco, 33 as well. He also shined in this game, and a lot of that had to do with the injury that you mentioned earlier. Both McLemore's performance and Bianco's performance, I think, had a lot to do with the injury you mentioned. So, Congrats, Miami, man. They did it.
Well, look, yeah, Donovan Clingan going out definitely changes that landscape. I mean, you'd like to see a little bit more defense from guys like Fareed Redmond, who had the primary Dominic Bianco assignment. That didn't happen. But 76 combined points from top two guys, and they've kind of been there all season long. It's why Miami's offense had been prolific. It's why they were averaging nearly 100 points a game, which at the SimWorld U level is incredible to believe.
Yep.
But they just were consistently better than every opponent they had. And from the start of the of basketball bedlam, it felt preordained. It felt like we would be robbed if we didn't get Miami and UConn at the end of it. And despite actually getting that, it feels like we got robbed a little bit with Donovan Clingan going out because UConn had been a great basketball team every step of the way. Yes, they had their challenges against DePaul, which knocked them out of the Big East tournament. Yes, they maybe didn't look as dominant at times as you would like to, but they were still the best to second best team in the country all year. And it did not matter the moment Clingan went out, and it did not matter when McLemore and Bianco got cooking. All right, we're going to shift over where we are going to bring in our guest this afternoon, the reigning SimWorld Prep Player of the Week, Monte Parson. Good morning, Monte. How you doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing great. First off, congratulations on winning SimWorld Prep Player of the Week. This has been an incredible season for you at just 15 years of age, coming onto the scene really out of nowhere. What can you attribute this arrival of yours to becoming a top 10 player in the country again at just 15 years of age?
Um, well, it contribute dedication. I stay in the gym. Um, as everybody know, I ended up playing in Philly, so that was part of my mom's responsibility she made for me for doing that. Is I had to be dedicated and put everything into this because it's a lot to move from Ohio to Philly, and she had to come with me. I'm only 15, so we didn't know nobody in Philly, so in order for her to accept that, I had to put all my dedication. So I stay in the gym, stay in the film, and I mean, when the season started to now, it's been getting better and better. I just only contributed to hard work.
Yeah, and that's a good attitude to have, and that is wonderful for sure. How when you came into Philadelphia League this season, did you foresee yourself having the kind of role and impact that you're having either way back in the recruiting process or when you joined the team properly?
Um, no, not at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, this season was strictly I thought was gonna be learning, and it kind of just like as the weeks progressed, it just was. I mean, it got real, so I just
Yeah.
been rolling with it.
Monday, you guys have been a really impressive group all season long. Coach Drees has talked a lot about wanting to build an identity. What's been the mentality in the locker room for this group? That it's a pretty young one, only 4 17-year-olds. This is a really new group, haven't played really much together at all. So, what's been that mentality in the locker room that's contributed to the success?
Well, for me, it's different. I play with a lot of East Coast boys. A lot of my teammates from New York. They real tough. So I had to. I'm more of a silly dude, but I'm tough too. But so it just I had to take on their mentalities to roll with them. So they serious. So that been the mentality. So everybody take everything serious. We got a lot of people don't know. I mean, like we got like players like AJ Frost. He like a second coach. So he really groomed. You know what I'm saying? Groomed me. You know what I'm saying? Took me under his wing. You know what I'm saying? It helped me out tremendously, and that was really a big transition. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's real. It's tough. Them dudes
Yeah.
don't play no games.
Yeah, it certainly is real tough. You mentioned AJ Frost earlier. I want to go to another player on the roster who's there with you right now, Jermaine Owens. You and Jermaine Owens, you make a formidable duo in the post. How has it been learning from him? And do you feel like you're ready to take that next step and maybe move into more of that mentor mantle next season at 16, a little bit earlier than perhaps you may have expected to, if you feel like you're ready to do that?
Yeah, Jermaine, that's my big bro. when I first came to Philly, the first thing he said, man, is, "Hey, you here to have my back," and he took me under his wing, and so that was where that was at. So he pretty much make it. He actually make it. No, I ain't. He's so clutch behind me. I don't have to worry about my backside, so that makes it more easier for me. I think that's probably contributed to a lot of my success. So
Monte, before we get rolling, we one last question for you, and answer this as much as you want to. But we've been seeing obviously a number of colleges and players coming to an agreement. Can we expect any? I know you're just 15, but should we be on the lookout for something? I can't imagine there's not a shortage of schools trying to lock up a player of your caliber.
uh, actually, it's weird. I get a lot of attention from my peers, but I haven't really heard from many colleges at this
Okay.
point. I don't know if it's because I mean, I'm only 15, so I don't really expect it. But um, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I really ain't even been in that mindset. I just been really just focused on hooping. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it been really dry. You know what I'm saying? On far as colleges reaching out for me.
Well, I can't imagine it's going to last long. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Monte. Best of luck the rest of the season and into the race to one. And congrats again on winning SimWorld Prep Player of the Week.
I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and go to school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have a good
you
day.
have a good one there. All right, SimWorld TV returns this afternoon at 8 p.m. We've got a doubleheader: H-Town Hoopers, Gulf Coast Lockdown, and then 9 p.m. Harlan Zombie Stars, Rocky Mountain Monsters. Big slate of action on some local broadcasts, but those are going to be our SimWorld TVs. We'll be back on Wednesday recapping more playoff hoops. B-Ron, thanks for joining us. We appreciate Monte coming on as well. We will talk to y'all tomorrow morning on SimWorld TV, the only place you could see the game, be the game.